Hello everyone. So this is an introductory video to the new release of Notes Explorer version 2.6.0. Notes Explorer, a fork of the Cards View plugin. And in this video we're going to go through few of the most highlighting modifications I have done to the Cards View plugin. You can go through all the features in detail from the release notes. Now the main reason for creating this vid was to explain few of features which might not be intuitive to understand on the first go, and few of the features might even remain hidden. Another very important reason is, in this video we'll be explaining a very important feature this version has brought called search filters. Now, before directly jumping right into the big features, since this is the first official release of Notes Explorer in Obsidian community plugins, I would like to go through few of the big modification done to this plugin. I have also provided the timestamps so you can directly jump to the respective feature you want to understood. And for a detailed features changelog, you can refer the release notes on GitHub. So initially, after installing Notes Explorer, you can directly open it through the icon from the ribbon. Once you open it, you will be presented with all your notes as cards. The first feature is the page view mode. So if you open the settings, here you will be able to see there is an setting option with name page view mode, and this is already by default enabled. Now the reason for implementing this feature was initially from the original plugin. It has the infinite scroll functionality. And although there were no serious direct issues which were encountered due to it, for me it was not making much sense to scroll infinitely without knowing how many notes I have already scrolled and how many more are left to be scrolled, if suppose say I have applied a filter or searched for something. Hence I came up with this functionality, where you can divide all your notes into pages. And you can also set how many cards you want to see per page. Now, to navigate between the pages, you will see an indicator in the status bar which will show on which page you currently are, and the button to move back and forth between the pages. And if you click on the page number, the page navigation bar will appear. Here all my notes has been divided into 7 pages because I have set 200 cards per page. So this first page there are 200 cards, then subsequently there will be 200, and at the end whatever is remained will be in the 7th page. Per page will have 200 cards, and once you scroll 200 cards you'll almost like hit the end of the page, and then you have to go to the next page. There's an action button here, so you can also toggle it through this button, which is specially required on mobile screens. Now, you can navigate between the pages in any order using the navigation bar. You have buttons here, with the page number. You can go to the previous page or you can go to the next page. You click on the next page, you will be redirected to the next page. Will be again I'm going to have more 200 parts. If you want to jump directly to next pages, you have this option from where you can directly jump to 5th page or last page like it. Also, you are free to turn this feature off to get the infinite scrolling feature back. But, I would really request to report if you are facing freezing issues while using infinite scrolling, which I have came across in the past from few users with thousands of notes, and that was another reason for creating this page view mode feature as a possible solution to the problem. So now coming to the next big feature which I have implemented is for the UIs of the card. I really wanted to distinguish between different domains of the cards. Like usually if I have one view, all the cards will be presented inside it, and I can sort them as per their names, like in descending order, ascending orders as per their created date, modified date, etc. But these notes are from all the different folders and all different domains or areas of my research. So I really wanted to distinguish them from one another without the need to go through the content. Just a quick peek and you'll get some idea which notes are from which topic. So for the same I came up with the idea to give different background colors to the cards based on their certain properties. Now users can have multiple types of properties, but the most common one which we all use is tags. These tags can be either inside the note's content or in the front matter. Here is the setting for this feature, where you can map a color to the tag. Currently I have applied them as card sidebars in this setting. If I change them in card background you will see something like this. So what I have said is if there is a test tag inside this you can either give the input as with hashtag prepended to the tag or you can simply give the name of the tag and it will accept it as well. As well as you also have the option to choose from where the tags should be considered. Whether they should be read from only the front matter, or only from the content, or it can be read from both. It will look out for all the tags inside the file including the front matter and the content, and then it will going to create a list of all the tags which are present inside your notes. And then there is a cockpit of priority. So here in setting you can see, there is an option to drag and move the color below one another to change their priority. And now, once this plugin has fetched the list of tags present inside your notes it will check which tag has the highest priority according to this settings and the background color will be applied accordingly. So if I change this now to the card's background instead of card sidebar, you will get a little different view. Also you might need to close and open the tab, if the cards don't refresh using the refresh button. As you can see, you will get a look something like this. But initially I wasn't happy with this UI because in Obsidian we have various kinds of elements. And based on the theme you are using, these elements will have different colors to them. And that's why you might not feel the card UI to be that appealing and also want able to distinguish between few of the elements because of this. One solution for this problem is you can pitch down all the colors opacity or gradient to make them appear very dark or very light based on the color scheme you are using. So the elements are distinguishable as well as you can get the colors to your cards. But, this wasn't a very convenient solution, hence I have implemented this card sidebar option. Where the color will be mainly going to get applied to the either sides of the card and a very light opacity will also be applied to the card's background, giving them a very appealing look and you can easily distinguish your content as well. So the next feature I want to discuss is the folder tag. What do I mean by folder tags? Suppose say you want to explore your vault and usually you explore it using the Files panel from the left sidebar. You expand the file tree and you can see your notes and folders. But if you want to see the specific folders from a particular folder inside Notes Explorer, there is a feature wherein you can simply click on the folder name and all the notes from this folder will be visible inside the Notes Explorer view. For this you will be required to enable this feature, which will be kept disabled by default. Just enable this feature and once this is enabled whenever you will to click on the folder name, you're only going to see the notes from this specific folder. One extra filter you can apply to this is through the filters menu. Here on the top right corner you will get this filter/sort menu. From this menu enable this show hide subfolders option. So what this does is so right now as you can see this resources folder has this bunch of around 5 or 6 notes in it and all this rest of the notes falls under the sub-child child folders of this resources folder. So what you can enable or disable this filter. So, if I enable this, I will see all the notes from even the child folders for this main resources folder. But if I disable it, I will only see the notes from this folder on which I have clicked. Like the notes from the parent folder only. Alright, so now coming to the next feature. Is you have the option to open your notes in different ways. So here we have something called Open Note Layout setting. So under this setting we have few options. So first option is Open Note to the right side. This is the most popular option, where your notes will open on the right side of your Obsidian layout. That is, it will split the layout and open the note on the right side. Similarly if you click on more it will open in the same tab, in this right split. Then similarly we have other options such as Open Note in the new tab. So it will open a new tab and in this new tab the note will be opened. And Open in New Window will open the note inside a new window. But this specific release, 2.6.0, has brought another feature, and this is very important for the mobile device because on the mobile version of Obsidian, it's very difficult to switch back and forth between the tabs. You will need to open the tab switcher view and then switch back to the Notes Explorer. But, say if you only surfing your notes and you just want to view the content. Then this might be a great option for you, where your note will simply open inside a modal or a pop-up and you can simply close it back using the top right button or simply by pressing back key of your phone. And there is also a button for you to open the note inside a proper Obsidian editor if you have decided to edit the note. In the future, we'll also try to give an option to edit the note in this same modal itself. Another small feature which has been added is you can see here the count of notes this plugin can view or the plugin can access. As you also might know, there is an option to exclude certain folders from Notes Explorer to read them. So, if you have added any folders inside exclude folder setting here, Notes Explorer won't read notes from this folders and also the subfolders within this folders. And that's why you can see in this note statistics modal that, although there are these many notes in this vault, Notes Explorer can only access 1,327 notes out of them. And the third count is the count of notes, after excluding all the empty notes, if that's the filter you have applied from the filter menu, and also if you have searched any content or if you have applied any other filters. So whatever notes which has been returned after applying this filters or search query, those notes count will be visible here. This kind of statistics you will get, and also this will be important when you want to know how many notes are satisfying the particular filter. So now at last we have came to the very important feature and very interesting feature this version has brought, which is search filters. So usually, if you know from long time, this search bar is used for searching simple things, to search just the content from the file or just search the file name or tag name, which is again inside the file content. But now this has been enhanced with filters, so you can directly apply filters through the search bar itself. And again, there is a search history feature as well, so all your previous searches will be now stored inside the search history. Okay, so now let me go through each of these filters one by one. But before going through these filters, which is also very easy to understand what they will do from their description, I would rather explain how this filters will, especially when you will apply multiple filters together. So, in mathematics, there is a concept called Boolean algebra. And I have used two of the Boolean operators, the and the or. And have created the concept of normal filters and compulsory filters. Using these two filters, it will be easier for us to narrow down our searches to find the particular files we are looking for. Let's understand this with an example. Suppose say we want to find all the files which were created after January 1, 2025, and which were created before January 31, 2025. In other words, I want to find all the files created in the month of January. So what we have done here is, we have applied a kind of a range of filters on the notes which was created within the January month of this year 2025. So, I'll select the respective filters with the date from this date menu. I'm going to select notes created after January 1, 2025, and then I'm going to hit enter twice. Please note here that you are supposed to hit enter twice and not only once. This is actually not a bug. Because, when you hit enter once, the system thinks you are selecting the option from the drop-down menu. I have bypassed this, and hence you will be required to hit enter twice or press the search button twice, if you are on mobile, for it to work properly. Similarly, I will also apply another filter, which is created before, and will select the date January 31, 2025 as the value for this filter using the date picker provided. The date picker makes it easier to select the date and also to keep the integrity of the format, which is important. There are only few kinds of date formats which works if you are entering the date value manually. Now I will hit enter twice and the filter will be applied. So now we can see there are two filters applied here, but they are applied in an or operation. It means, some of the files which you see here are created after January 1, 2025, and some of these files here which was created before January 31, 2025. Means all the files shown here satisfies either one of the above filters. But we want to see the files which satisfies both the filters at the same time. So, we should convert these two normal filters into compulsory filters. To do this, there is a button here for each filters, with the lock icon, so if we click on this, the filters has been converted into compulsory filters. Now we can see only the files which are created in the month of January 2025. So that's how the concept of and operations works. Where when we convert the first filter as compulsory filter, it has found out certain notes, and then those notes has been passed to the second filter for further filtering. So we are kind of narrowing down our search here. And also now we can apply another filter, suppose say tag, and we can apply the tag filter with the value test. So there is one file which satisfies this criteria as well. If we remove it, we'll see this goes here and then only this criteria and then we can convert this into an OR operation. Similarly, you have all the other filters for a file. This filter can be used to find all the notes with a particular text in their file name. So suppose if I want to find all the files which has 2025 text in their file name, I'll enter it and hit enter twice. Sometimes if it doesn't show you properly, just make it a compulsory filter. So now you can see all the files with a 2025 name in theme will be shown here. Similarly, the parent filter means to find notes with a particular parent folder of those files. Please note here that this is kind of similar to the folder tag feature. But this filter can only return the notes which are in immediate parent folder. All the notes within the child folders of this parent folder won't be shown here. And then we can have other filters such as content. We can find a content inside the notes. All these other date-related features, you might have already understood. And lastly, we have properties filter. Here we can also filter out notes with a particular front matter property in them. But here there are 4 more hidden filters within this property filter. So what I mean by that is if you have applied this created property, and you can either directly look for files with a particular created date value in them, or you can select any one, then you can either apply before or after for this value. And you will be presented with notes which has the property created and whose value is the date which is greater than or less than the created date you are looking for. One important thing to note is once you apply this filter, there has to be a space between these two, there has to be a space between the after and the date value you have entered. As well as the date format has to be in this same format. So all the notes which has this property in them and whose date value was created before the entered value are visible here. Which was less than this value will be shown in the listing view. So if I open this file, which you can see here is a created date and its value is less the value entered in the filter. Similarly, there are 2 more properties, such as suppose there is pages property and value to this is a number. Right now I don't have it, but if we say have pages as the property, and you can put like 100 pages, right? But you have another option to specify whether it should be above or below this entered value. So we have 2 extra filters, above or we have below. You can apply either one of them, or you can use 2 filters as compulsory filters. If you say, want to filter out all the notes which has the pages property to them and the value of the pages lies between 100 and 200, etc. And then lastly we have a very interesting feature which is linking your views, that is, you can create links to your views. So as you can see here right now there is one share button. So if I click on it, it will have copied the link to the clipboard. So if I suppose say paste this link inside a note. So this is the Obsidian URI link, and this will help me to open this Notes Explorer view easily directly through the link. But this will be actually useful when we have applied multiple filters and we want to preserve this filters so we don't have to apply them every time we open Notes Explorer. So suppose say now I will have applied 2 filters. And I want to store this state so I can open it again later directly. And that is where this links will going to help us to have custom view linked through Obsidian URI links. Now, you can copy this link and paste it into your notes, or you can open this link from outside Obsidian as well. I can create it as a link and I can put it inside the bracket, and then if I click on it Notes Explorer with those respective filters will going to open directly. Now if I close this and if I try to open it from here, I'm going to get the same tab and all the filters applied directly. So I don't have to manually apply them again and again. This were the biggest features which has been released in this version. I look forward to hear all of your thoughts and suggestions to make this plugin even better and have a fun notes exploration journey, a great way to revise your notes.